A couple of items for us to look through this morning. The number one is the Lagos-Calabar coastal road issue. Number two, legal cybercrime levy and its legality. 3, the NBA doesn't want the CJN as chairman of the NJC. Many ends there. And the fourth item here, River State's political house of commotion.
Thank you very, very much. One can be sidelined. That is the cyber crime.
Yes.
Because
levy.
I was told, I have not read it. I know it's in the news that the president has suspended it. Yeah. So we only just mention it for a while or for a little. But every other thing is to be downloaded. Professor, by orders of precedence, I will start with you, sir.
Very well.
River State is gradually becoming Western region of Nigeria during the First Republic. When Obafemi Awolowo picked his phone and called Tafawa Balewa, the Prime Minister, say, "Can I see you briefly?" Oh, he said, "Walk across." Obafemi Awolowo walked across to Tafawa Balewa. This was exactly 10 a.m. And he told him that, Prime Minister, there are rumors that you want to declare state of emergency in the Western region. Then Tafawa Balewa said, Chief. He called him Chief. Even when he was seeing him to the prison, he called him Chief, respectfully. Say, Chief, is this why you walked? He said, when you call me that you want to, I thought there's something. Why would you believe such rumor? Why would you believe such rumor? If anything like that happened, I will sit here and preside over such discussion. You should have just even asked me over the phone. You shouldn't have wasted your time. So there's nothing like that. I say nothing like that. So Obafemi Awolowo returned. And Obafemi Awolowo picked the phone and called the wife. And told the wife, I just left the Prime Minister. This is the question I asked the Prime Minister. This is the answer he gave to me. Be sure that within the next 24 hours, a state of emergency will be declared. Then the wife said, if he said no, he said, I know that I'm dealing with a Fulani person. You may not know. That afternoon, state of emergency was declared on Western region. The declaration came because Western region came to the point where it was named Operation Wet Year. That is Operation Spray Kerosene or Petrol on people, on vehicles, on houses, and set them ablaze. River State, sir, is almost becoming that. Those of us who are old enough to have known many histories of Nigeria development, at least I know the history of Nigeria. I just read one in historical perspective. Now, Wike is holding an axe from Abuja. The president moved into the matter politically, not constitutionally. And there is a crumble. And yesterday, Akao, what's the other name? One young man. I know him very well, but I've forgotten the other name. He used to be Executive Director, Engineering and Technical Services for the Nigeria Ports Authority many, many years ago. Before he has been the side of pro-institution before he was sent to which country as ambassador and co. Led old politicians in Rivers to the site of the legislators' quarters and say, all of them say, nothing wrong here, that the governor was doing this. All these are going on. And part of the agreement proposed, because President Bola Ahmed Tinubu proposed something for them, and they all signed. And Fubara signed. And people were saying, why would you sign that? But to return back, he did not do one of those things. Return the budget to the returnee legislators. He did not do it. And 2 items he proposed, the legislator threw it away. And the one the legislator brought to him, he threw it away. Thank God. Sir, you are a very, very senior teacher of constitutional amendment and everything. You are a very, very senior lawyer. You are senior advocate of Nigeria. Let's start with you. But you have to help us, sir. 3 minutes will be more than enough to answer this question. Let's cross over to River State. Give us your wisdom and knowledge.
What is happening in River State, in a way, underscores the nature of politics in Nigeria. To the extent now that one can reasonably say that the state is now becoming ungovernable. The legislative arm is a critical arm in governance. And when you have a situation where the legislature is divided between 3 legislators on one side and 17 legislators on the other side, and they are both claiming legitimacy in exercising the power to make laws for the state, then you have a serious crisis at hand. Regrettably, too, the congestion in the courts has also not facilitated the courts in speedily attending to the crucial issues surrounding the legitimacy of lawmakers in the Rivers State House of Assembly.
Okay.
And so there is no clear perspective from the judiciary as to as to the status of the 17 legislators who defected. Because the governor, as it is, as was reported in the media, has interpreted the law in his own wisdom and thinks that the 17 legislators now lack the status of legislators.
Yes.
But again, even a spectator will wonder, declaration of vacancies is not the function of the executive.
But court.
The assembly itself have to make a declaration.
Okay.
Through
the speaker.
Yes. That these seats are vacant, and then those legislators can then test, through the court system, the legality or otherwise of the declaration.
Okay.
But we now have a situation where it is the governor that is saying that, I don't recognize them, they are not legislators. But all of that too boils down to the enormous powers that are vested in state governors under the 1999 Constitution.
Okay.
Visually, state governors are emperors in their states. And one of the things they all try to do is to cow or make the legislative arm subservient to the executive. So there's hardly any legislative assembly, at the state level that is truly, truly independent.
Meaning within the 36 states.
Within the 36 states that is truly independent as conceived by the Constitution.
Yes, sir.
And so that's the problem.
Okay.
And so quickly too, I will say that with the recent developments, I would say that the legislative machinery for making laws has broken down in Rivers State, and that under the Nigerian Constitution, that singular act alone is enough for the National Assembly to exercise...
Mostly the House of Representatives.
Yes, to exercise its constitutional powers to, declare a state of emergency and usurp the legislative powers of the Rivers State House of Assembly. And I think that until that is done, all the contending parties will not sober.
Okay.
To arrive at a political decision.
Okay.
And settlement of the issues.
Thank you very much, sir. Editor.
Yes, sir.
Along this trajectory where the professor came in, I want to ask a question. The 27 legislators defected. They left the political party that brought them on to another party. Yes, I agree with Professor that will not be enough for the governor to sit as a jury. But within that period, the governor prepared his budget, and a court of what do you call it?
Jurisdiction.
Competent? Is it competent?
Competent jurisdiction.
Jurisdiction made a pronouncement that either 4 or 3 people that remained there were the members of the assembly, and that the others that the governor should go and present his budget. Does this not help the governor in what he concluded? The presentation of the budget according to the pronouncement of the court, shall we consider that as illegal, where that was the last word from the judiciary on the matter pending?
Well, it is probably right to say that the pronouncement of the court legitimized what the governor did at the time.
Thank you.
But what is the provision of the Constitution?
Yes.
Would 4 or 5 persons out of the house of 32 make up for the
Majority.
required quorum that can make the house function? So there's a lacuna, I would think.
Okay.
You know, the 5 persons who were loyal to Governor Fubara do not, in my thinking, make up the requisite number for a quorum. But yet, the court made a pronouncement that gave courage and fillip to the governor to present his budget.
Where are you now? Because yet you are not neither here nor there.
No, I'm just making a point that to say that what the governor did was in resonance with what the court
with the court's
declared.
pronouncement.
Yes, the court's pronouncement. But let it be made clear that I strongly believe what the Constitution provides for, i.e., that those lawmakers, 27 of them, who defected without any reason whatsoever
at the national party,
or either at the national or even state, there was no reason, there was no division. So to have defected and left the party that sponsored them to that seat, automatically the provision of the Constitution says that they have lost their seats.
Okay.
That is beyond contest.
Okay.
It has nothing to be contested about.
Okay.
What the president, Ahmed Bola Tinubu, did was a political resolution.
Yes.
Just to wedge in something.
Yes.
And asked all of them to come back. And as you rightly said in your introduction, Fubara agreed, according to him, in pursuit of peace.
Yes.
So he agreed that, okay, those people can come back. But in coming back, they have strongly stood in frustration of his administration.
Yes.
So the determination of those 27 lawmakers not to take or not to cooperate, let me not even say take order, not to cooperate the executive arm, rather than but to prefer to cooperate with the former governor.
Yes.
That has frustrated all of the essence of the peace arrangement that the president did. So I think, like Prof said, it's a big problem. There's a stalemate, and it will probably lead to asking for a state of emergency because, as it is, things are falling apart and the center is not holding between the executive and the legislature.
Another Shinashebe is born.
Thank you.
Okay, Prof, please spare this for just 1 minute. Lawmaking in any given country that operates under constitution. The constitution, what it says, remains final. The pronouncement of a court, until it is challenged, becomes law. Am I right?
Yes, it is.
Okay. If the Rivers State High Court made that pronouncement and had not been challenged, for example, you just admitted that the packaging of too many things has not made the courts in Nigeria to be so progressive in meeting exigency of the people. Now, that pronouncement of the court on that matter on that day, which had not been challenged by Court of Appellation, does that now give recognition to 4 people give recognition to 4 people to pass a budget? Does it make it that only 4 people that are here, and can that be faulted again? That the man did not do according to
Prof, Guru, the account I have actually says that there is a pending appeal on that decision.
Yes.
That's why I initially said, the clog, the backlog of cases within the court system.
Yes.
If otherwise, this is a decision
of a competent court
subject to appeal.
Yes, sir.
And then an appeal court should be able to quickly and expeditiously deal with it, so that we have a position.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. You see, but the court system is not facilitative, as it were.
Yes.
In giving a direction,
I agree with you, sir.
Eddy was quite affirmative in saying that, they have decamped, defected, and therefore constitutionally, and he said for no reason. But I don't think that is correct. They did say or allege that there was a crisis, a division with respect to, is it the secretary,
yes,
chief of the party?
This man from Imo State.
Exactly, So that's their reason. Whether that reason holds water is for the courts to determine.
Okay, thank you very much.
But the courts, because of administrative bottlenecks, has not risen up to that occasion. Thank you very much, sir.
Just 30 seconds. Yes. The question is for you again.
Yes.
Now, yes, there is an appeal pending. But until the appeal is heard,
yes,
does the judgment of the lower court not stand as law?
Of course it is, unless there's an order for staying execution.
Okay, that's good. Now, we are navigating somewhere.
Yeah,
I think that place is... you have a word to drop on that just for 30 seconds, editor?
Yes, until, like Prof. rightly said, until there is a contrary judgment by a higher court.
Yes.
That pronouncement of the lower court stands,
and
it has to be obeyed.
And there is no pronouncement of stay of execution
at all. There's none. Then even the argument about they giving a reason that there's a crisis at the national level, I think it was just administrative issue of who gets what.
The whole world knows that that could not stand.
There was no crisis by every definition of the word crisis. They may have just used that as a ground to say do what they want.
Even the guru who is a bushman knows that one cannot stand.
But like he said, let the court come and affirm that indeed there was no crisis.
And the cases like this, the court will not move too much in a hurry.
Never in a hurry.
Okay.
So slowly.
Okay. Then, in your mind, I will start with you, editor. Do you see a problem, a major problem emanating from Rivers State that could disturb the home country economically for a while?
Verily so. It is so very clear, and it is smelling very strongly. And we can all perceive it.
Would that be the order and perceive?
Yes, okay. Yes, I'm sure that's what you are perceiving. Because each of the images I've watched on television, the pro-Fubara group, I think they had a Thanksgiving in somewhere in Ahoda during the week of
where the former speaker, who is now chief of staff, said that he was offered money.
Exactly, offered money to those people.
And
that Fubara would teach those people some lesson. He made that point clear.
Yes.
But what I'm even interested in is the crowd behind every of these factions. And you will know that indeed trouble is brewing. When the man you talked about led those people to the Assembly quarter, you also see a crowd of people, and many of them are
former speaker,
great politicians in Rivers State. So there is going to be a big duel, as it were, and it's almost like a zero-sum game. One will have to cancel out the other, and if it is not well managed, it will really lead to political conflagration in the country, and it will affect our economy, because that place is the hub of Nigerian oil and gas.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Let me move quickly, because there are many questions one want to ask on this, and if we base our question on this one, in the next 20 hours we will still be here. Let me move straight away, deviate a little. The Lagos-Calabar Coastal Road. The Lagos-Calabar Coastal Road. I'm talking of the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Road. Yeah. It was not bidded. There was no competitive bidding. The amount the National Assembly approved for the project wasn't what was going on there now. Then we have a project of 15 trillion that is not bidded for. But the government has said that because high tech has the capacity and is doing it. Again, sir, I will start with you, Prof. What is your wisdom on this matter? Look it both as an old man and we were the eyes of the law. Then tell us one thing. But, sir, 2 minutes.
Okay. Let me point out something that I think most commentators on this issue are not addressing.
Okay.
This project is a huge project.
Yes.
And I don't think anybody has denied the importance or usefulness of this project.
The project, yes.
It's a wonderful project.
Yes.
If it is pursued to fruition, to completion, it will greatly improve the economy of this
Value
country.
of this country, yes, sir.
Okay. Now, but the issue about procurement, about advertisement, about bidding, and all of that, most of the commentaries have not taken into cognizance the nature of this project.
Okay. And
Okay.
what is that?
The contract for this project,
Yes, sir.
I understand, is on the basis of
CPC,
engineering, procurement, construction, and financing.
Yes.
In other words, the federal government is financing only 30%. Counterpart funding is only 30%.
Yes.
The contractors will be funding this project 70%.
Okay.
And so the project has inbuilt mechanism by which these contractors are going to recoup their money over a period of time.
Yes.
Now, a contract of this nature is fundamentally different from when a government says, I want to construct this road. These are the bill of quantities. These are the details. Please, let's have bidders.
Okay.
It's a little bit different.
Okay.
Okay? So, I also want to underscore the fact that, look, this project went through the Federal Executive Council at least twice.
Okay.
The Federal Executive Council at each of these occasions
Yes.
approved the project. They first approved the project when it come to raising the counterpart funding of about 4-point-something trillion. They also approved it. So we live in a country where we see every public officer, every public contract as imbued with corruption. That may necessarily be so.
Okay, sir.
But we need also the benefit of doubt
Okay.
and understand the conception of this project.
Okay. One question for you.
Yes.
Again, sir, please, with all respect, only 30 seconds. You mean by the process that the federal government is only funding? Is it counter funding?
Yes.
30%.
Yes.
Does that dislodge the Procurement Act not to be put into practice in law?
What you said now, the act is about procurement, not so. It's about procurement. This is a partnership agreement
Okay.
between the government and the contractors.
Okay. So there wouldn't be need of competitive bidding since the government either counterpaying or is supposed to represent Nigeria in such a way that everything must go openly according to the, what do you call that? Is it Bureau of
BPI?
Under the Public Procurement Act, there are exceptions. There are exceptions. In other words, government can get into some contracts that do not require the full gamut of publicity, asking for bids.
And this one falls within that jurisdiction?
I think so.
Okay. Then one final question, sir.
Yes.
The National Assembly approved a particular money. But here we are. What was paid went beyond 50. How many trillion? About 4 or something trillion? Or how much?
1 trillion.
Huh?
They paid 1 trillion instead of 500 million.
Instead, the National Assembly provided 500 million in this budget.
The budget 2024.
Without the what do you call this thing? Attracting money from other places that went, then they paid above 1 trillion. Is that acceptable under the law? You are the reservoir of law here, sir.
Well, first and foremost, we need to understand where the difference comes from.
Okay.
Where's the difference
Okay.
coming from?
Okay.
Okay. Now, there are also occasions where the government makes expenditures that are above the budgeted figure, and then they go back to the National Assembly to make a case for barment and make a case for ratification.
But what about this one that is so far and above?
The window is still open.
For the government to go back to the National Assembly?
Yes, the window is still open.
Then we shall therefore be in the continuous process of, after the miss and waste would have been consumed, then you come to the National Assembly, say, oh yeah, ratify it.
Well.
Okay. No, hold your thought there, sir. Thank you very much. Editor.
Yes, sir.
Please, I heard the opinion before, but I know within the past 7 days you have slept over this matter. As a Commodore, okay, we told the President Ibrahim Babangida that let me sleep over the matter. Can you say a word or two on this 15 trillion budget contract?
Yes, I think I want to differ slightly with learned prof. I am not unduly intimidated by his being a professor of law.
After 12, you don't belong to the same profession.
Exactly. But let me say that he has spoken like a lawyer, probably in defense of establishments. But let me quickly point out a few things. The things we know in the public domain,
yes,
i.e., the idea of a procurement law is, and then you talked about open bidding. I do not know. I wouldn't know the ground for which. I know there are a few exceptions. And you rightly pointed out, asked him whether this one also falls into that exception. And I said, probably. I wouldn't know what that, why this would qualify for that kind of exception. There is no urgency, as it were, as to warrant that there will be no open bidding. And for the sake of facts, there is no government in this country since 1960 that has awarded one project that has cost as much as this 15 trillion naira. Not one, not never. So for a humongous project like this, I would think, bearing every other exception of political gymnastics, that it should go through open bidding. Much more than that, sir. This is a project, like I said last week, of 700 kilometers. And you are telling us that a kilometer will cost 4 billion naira.
Yeah, that's what it costs.
1 kilometer is 4 billion naira. How did they arrive at that?
This. That's good.
Was there due process? I think there is an arm of government that should check costing.
Where was the bidding? Where's the categorization?
Yes, and then the prof also talked about the partnership with this person, probably with this contractor. Were other contractors given the opportunity to probably also partner government? Were they given the opportunity that, okay, yes, we too, we have the capacity and we also have the money to partner with you and we can do X, Y, Z. They were not given the opportunity. So why did government so selectively choose high tech in the name of whatever condition? And if you recall, the Minister of Works had said they waived it. That's the word he used, that they waived that condition. And what is even more, on this same issue, there was no environmental impact assessment.
That's good.
And that is what has resulted to the huge money they are paying as compensation to some persons.
Landmark.
Yes, landmark. And the rest of all of that. And, sir, I will also ask. Yes, I agree very clearly that if the road is, I like the word they used, and if it is faithfully completed, it would improve our economy. No doubt about that.
You know, he's a very, very senior lawyer.
Yes, yes, but the great word is if. The great word is if. What if it doesn't? Where are we even going to get 15 trillion from to pay? Yes, it is not a 1 year, 2 or 2 year project. So the point about the economy, improving our economy, yes, it is good, but I don't think it is such a great a matter of urgency. So the fact that they have breached EIA. They have breached the funding agreement and arrangement. They have breached the procurement law. They have breached even the need for people to, the government itself, to assess the amount quoted by the high tech. I think there's so much more to it. And like I said last week, I strongly suspect that the overriding interest is to create waterfront access to
Dangote.
No, not the Dangote.
Okay.
This estate they are trying to build here.
Atlantic, Eko Atlantic.
Eko Atlantic.
Eko Atlantic to Dangote.
Exactly.
Where
So
some of the executives
it is to
believe.
create the waterfront access that will give that Eko Atlantic estate an edge, an estate edge, and that is, I think, is the driving force, because I do not see how they will get the steam to run this through.
Thank you very much.
Let me quickly add something.
No, sorry, you will come back. You
On
add
this-
when
on
we
this
come back.
issue.
Yes,
On
on
this
this
issue.
when we come
Okay.
back. We need to get to the market. We need to go to the market to see to bring food to the table.
I agree with Eddy to the extent that there is a more to this, that we're probably glossing over. And I want to point out just one thing.
Okay.
You see, an engineering project like this coastal road project is not something that you conceive in 12 months.
Yes.
So it will be rash to just say, oh, the Tinubu administration has just conceived of this, they want to give access to Atlantic City, and then that's why this project is running.
I agree with you.
I don't believe so.
I agree with you.
Okay. So the
Because
idea,
this project has been on ground for the past 15 years or something.
Exactly. Even from the First Republic, from some of the literature I've read, even from the First Republic, the idea of this coastal road that will connect Lagos, Ondo,
Shehu Shagari tried his best to bring it to fruition.
So this project has been there,
which
means that some specification, some design have been there,
but
some coordinates, of where this road will pass through are already there.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much. That is
so
accepted.
we need to understand that it's not just, a 12-month
But
thing.
that equally challenged the accessibility of not having environmental
impact assessment.
Yes,
because there's none.
What I'm saying,
there is none. I can confirm that for you.
Okay,
there's none.
If you say throughout the course of all these engineering designs,
there is none.
An impact assessment has not been done.
It's not.
Well,
it's not. I can confirm that to you authoritatively.
Okay.
Then let us just say one word, just a minute each. Thank God, the the cyber crime. As I said, I heard of it, not that I've read, and I believed what I heard, that the president had temporarily suspended it, or something. The editor, sir.
Yes, sir.
What's your opinion of that cyber law, which is legitimate, of the contradiction between you are a bank, I have my money, in order for my money to be safe, I give it to you to hold. You have charged me already for holding my money for me, and now to secure the money where through one means you want me to pay 0.005 or 0.05 off to it, so that I will be the one, apart from all the remaining charges, to keep my money gives to me in the pivot way that the original bank started with the goldsmith and hold my gold. When I come back in 3 months, I pick it. That is 2. 3. Central bank we collect this money from me through the banks, which is legitimate. Central bank has the right constitutionally to do all this thing, but the money will be domiciled by central bank in an account. Only to the spending of the money will move to the office of the National Security Advisor. Given what went wrong with that Suki and Kwanko, the cost and all those. Please, sir, can you just do this in a minute, because the people are waiting to be called into this?
Well, to the extent that there is an information published by the Nation newspaper, almost exclusively. Nation newspaper is owned and published by President Bola Tinubu.
Of course.
So, to a large extent, there's validity to that story. To a large extent, like I said. So, to the extent that there's announcement that it has been suspended. So that would naturally defray every other
So we should wait.
other attacks on the
therefore.
project. But enough to just say that it is also instructive to hear the reason the president supposedly gave for the suspension, i.e., that the NSA did not seek clarification and approval from his office before directing the CBN.
I said I've not read it. I didn't
Yes,
hear of this.
that was the story they gave, that the NSA did not get the approval of the president's office to direct the CBN governor to implement this law or this levy issue. So I think that again is also very laughable, and it poo-poos the idea of administrative competence between the NSA office and the office of the president. But just let's agree or believe that indeed it's been suspended. I would prefer the word cancelled.
One and a half.
The basic thing, and which is common knowledge, is that the Nigerian situation is unique. This is one country where if you put your money in the bank, you are subject to multiple taxation
And charges.
Thank you, sir.
in the name of charges
Yes, sir.
on your money. This is a country where you pay stamp duties
Yes.
on monetary transactions. This is a country where you pay VAT, value added tax.
Or very annoying tax.
I like that.
On monetary transactions. VAT that is supposed to be a tax on services with added value. We pay tax in transferring money. We pay tax in depositing money. We pay tax in withdrawing money. Then we also pay account maintenance fee.
Yes.
On a monthly basis.
Yes.
Even
withholding tax.
So it is terrible. And then to then say that this law has been there since 2015. They now want to
2024,
and then they now want to implement it. It just adds to the kind of pain and burden the government has consistently
we give it to the people.
Yes, visit on.
Thank you very much, sir. I think that's a good ground to rest this for now.
Yeah.
Let us allow people to come into the discussion, if it is only for a few minutes.
If you want to be a part of us, first off, follow us across all social media pages at Lagos Talks 913 is our handle. And of course, kindly like, share, subscribe, and make sure you're a part of the Lagos Talks family.